What's up, boys and gerbils? It's Bear, founder and CEO of RefugeMedical.com. In the recent The Gun Industry is Lying to You video, a bunch of people were like, okay, Bear, roger that, but what is that gun? What is that what is that one? I gotta know, what is it? What is it? And so, for my context, I'm going to explain to you the one rifle to rule them all. Pointy finger. We'll go with a knife hand now. Understand, I'm in eastern Oklahoma. My longest shot, literally the farthest that I can see in any one area on my property or the properties around me, is 225 yards. 225. Not that far. The average shot on a deer in my area is 30 yards. Average. Okay? So things are a little tight around here because we have woods. We have hay fields as well, but we have woods. And even the hay fields, like, they're kind of tight. You see what I mean? They're kind of tight. So bearing that in mind, and given the threats that I face, which are at the high end of the spectrum, trespassers, who a couple of which have been removed at gunpoint. Hey bro, appreciate you trespassing. Don't put those boots on my property again, or I'm gonna have to call the sheriff to come clean this up, right? To the low end, feral dogs, coyotes, wild hogs, possums, raccoons, you know, anything that wants to eat a chicken, essentially. Did I say coyotes? Yeah, stuff like that. And so I find that every day, the one rifle I'm touching every day is this one. And this is the one that I showed y'all on camera. And so I'm not saying that this is the rifle for you. I'm saying this is the rifle for me, and I'm explaining why this is the rifle for me. Tracking? Tracking like a tank, Bear? All right, cool. We do not need to emote like children in the comments either, all right? Bear, you're so wrong, because when I was a spaceship door gunner shooting my SOCOM 416 Chi-Tac 375 9mm from outer space, shooting bad guys in North Korea in the face with incendiary rounds. Okay, got it. Tracking. Eastern Oklahoma homesteader context. Okay? I lost my hat. There's three things that a rifle needs. Three that it needs. The first is it needs a weapons light. The next is it needs a sling. The last is a way to aim it. Okay? The rest of that, nice to have, not need to have. And if you put too much stuff on your cool guy rifle, you're going to turn Stoner's 7-pound rifle into a 10 or 11 pound abomination. Okay, so briefly, let's go through this. Weapons light, Surefire Scout, right here. Okay, and this has the vampire head on it. The what is that head? KM2-C, Kilo Mike 2-Charlie, right? And so it's a white light, but then you can also turn the head from white, super racist, to IR. Okay, so it will IR illuminate as well. Okay, so for doing nighttime green-eyed googly boy stuff, you can switch from white light to IR illuminator. If I hit the button, you won't be able to see it because there you go. You can see it light up. That's the IR right there. It also has an intermediate position for off, which is cool, so that you're not negligently discharging either your white light or your IR illumination when you're operationally operating like an operator out here in the woods hunting Sasquatch, okay? This is a freaking expensive light, but I've run Streamlights, I've run Olights, I've run cheap Chinesium garbage from Amazon. They don't hold up like the Surefires do, okay? Now I like Streamlight, Exhibit A. Streamlight TLR1 HL. I like them as a company, and I have the Streamlight Pro-Tax on some other rifles as well. They're good lights, especially if budget is a concern. They're not quite as good, in my opinion, as the Surefire. Okay, so a weapons light. Cable management, per our buddy Hop. Cable management is hell. I've just got a Ranger band right here, which I got from my brother Gary Brommeland. Right there, it says Brommeland on it. It was a cool color, so I put it on there. And then pressure switch, okay? And again, I like the fact that it has the intermittent off position so that I'm not negligently discharging, illuminating all over the place, firing signal flares into the air saying, hey bad guys, I'm over here, right? Working our way back, we've got rail covers and a vertical grip from Slate Black Industries. I like their stuff. I like Josh and I like Henry at the channel 9 Hole Reviews. They do a really good job. I consume a lot of their content, and I'm about supporting small businesses. And so I have these rail covers and this hand stop on a lot of my rifles, okay? The rail is a Midwest Industries. No, I lied. It's a Rise Armament from Broken Bow, Oklahoma. What's up, fellow Okies? And I like it. This rifle originally had a considerably larger in diameter KeyMod handguard on it from a decade ago. And M-LOK clearly won the M-LOK versus KeyMod battle. And so I got with the times, put this rail on there, I don't know, a year or two ago. And I like it. Magazines. Magpul PMags, 20s, 30s, 40s. I like the 20s for a couple of reasons. The first is I put specialty ammunition in the 20-round magazines. So I know at a glance, oh, that's a 20. It's going to have something other than 55 grain in it, right? In this case, it's got 55 grain Hornady AMAX in there, which is hell on soft targets. This particular round has been the last thing that sheep, bulls, dogs, coyotes, possums, deer, you name it, has seen. It does a great job on soft targets, and because it's a ballistic tip, it freaking dumps energy. So your concern about over penetration, minimized. I dig that a lot. The barrel is a government profile, Spec Ops manufacturing, 1 MOA guaranteed with match ammunition barrel. As I understand it, Spec Ops manufacturing is out of business. I don't know the whys of that, but I do lament the loss of them because they made really good products. I've got a Ravage Arms muzzle brake on the end here. It's a cheap muzzle brake. Do you need it? But it works. Do you need a muzzle brake on a 5.56? No. Why is it on there then? Because I put it on there when I knew less than I know now, and I will very likely be taking that off to replace with a simple A2 bird cage for a blank firing adapter for training protocols. Okay. Moving back, Magpul furniture. The lower is a billet lower. Why billet? It's heavy, but it's what I had. It's from Runner Guns in McKinney, Texas. I've got standard Magpul buttstock, standard Magpul grip, a sling from SOE Tactical Gear right there. Our buddy John at SOE. 2-point sling, as far forward on the gun as I can get it, as far back on the gun as I can get it. A lot of guys will be like, well, yeah, but how can I do cool guy stuff if my sling's not set up like that? Well, when your sling is set up like this, right, and your gun doesn't weigh 10 pounds, just the tension on the sling keeps the gun in the pocket. See? Not an issue. Additionally, being adjustable, if I wanted to choke up, right, come in here and shoot like this, I can, right? Or like this, I can, and I've got all this tension of the sling around my back, around my arm, for making tighter shots from the standing position. And I can grab my vertical grip, throw it over my shoulder, cinch the sling down, and now it's not bouncing around all over the place. So 2-point sling. Not cool guy 1 point, because when you run, those things smack you in the balls over and over again. Not cool guy 3-point, because I don't need a 1 point. 2-point sling, nothing special, right? What else we got? Upgraded charging handle for reasons. And what else? Optic. Backup iron sights. These are the Magpul M-Bus. Are they great? No. Do they work? Yes. Are they zeroed to this rifle? Yes. Why does that matter? In case the optic goes down. Likelihood of the optic going down, relatively low. But if it does, quick detach mount from arrow. Also, there's a 3-pound flat-faced trigger in there. I'm not a trigger snob, but I'm not a trigger snob. I'm gonna put my CIA, TFBI earpiece back in so that the agents can tell me what to say to y'all. Sorry, I apologize. And then the optic. This is a Primary Arms ACSS 556 1-8. This is their entry level model right here, and it's like 489 doll hairs retail, which I paid retail. They didn't give this to me. I have gotten a ton of sweat and a ton of rain and some blood and snow and a lot of dust and mud and dirt on this thing over the last few years, and she still works just fine. Why 1-8? Well, because primarily you're going to be doing observation through your optic, right? You're going to look at whatever it is you're going to shoot before you shoot it. PID, positively identifying the target. And so having some magnification is nice. The 1x setting on an LPVO will very likely never be a true 1x setting. That being said, it's close enough that you can shoot fast enough if you decide that you just have to do some room clearing, bro. But not really into that, right? Or CQB. We're gonna go CQB. Okay. Best of luck. Guys whose job it is to do that all the time get jacked up all the time doing CQB, and they have the full might of the U.S. Department of Defense at their backs with all the logistics and training that comes with that, and they still get shot, stabbed, blown up all the time. So if you want a CQB, go for it. I'm going to try to avoid that like the plague, because people get shot, stabbed, blown up all the time doing it, and I don't have the U.S. military at my back. So, but you can. The 1x setting is good enough for sure to shoot up close and shoot fast. But where it excels over a red dot is that I've got 8 power magnification. So for taking more precision shots or being able to take shots at longer distances, this helps me, again, in my context, greatly. One thing you should understand about LPVOs is that there's no external parallax adjustment on this optic. This right here is for your illuminated reticle. And then of course you've got your elevation here and your windage on the side knob over here. So you can illuminate the reticle if you're into that. But there's no external parallax adjustment for this. And so in my experience shooting this rifle out to 700 yards, parallax matters. How you position your eye in the eye box behind the optic can throw your shot off significantly. And so, but contextually, am I taking lots of 700-yard shots? No, not with this rifle anyway. If you are, you might look at like a 2.5 to 10 power or a 4 to 14 power. Just my suggestion, rather than a 1-8. But dude, out to 300 to 500 yards with this gun, 1-8, no problem. Last thing I'm going to touch on is ammunition selection, because a lot of people will say, well, 5.56 is a pea shooter. Well, there's a bunch of little brown dudes who've been killed with this round who would disagree with you, okay? First of all, 55 grain AMAX right here destroys soft targets, as previously discussed. If you zero with 55 grain FMJ, it has been my experience that the ballistic subtensions in this reticle, they work when you zero at 100, also for 77 grain OTM. Yeah, but 77 grain's expensive. Let's have a little thought experiment here. You know what else is expensive? Jacketed hollow points. But I'm not running FMJ in my sidearm, right? That's our duty ammunition, our carry ammunition, our this needs to work right now ammunition, as compared to our practice ammo, which is for most of us is going to be 115 grain FMJ in a 9mm, right? So practice with 55 grain all you want, 55 grain FMJ, and then when it's time to go do the things, you can switch out to 55 grain ballistic tip or 77 grain OTM, and the ballistic subtensions in this reticle will match, in my experience. So, again, this is not me flexing, this is not me telling you what you need to do, this is me explaining why, for me, this right here is the one gun to rule them all. interested in your productive comments down below. You all have a blessed day. Shalom.